Hey guys, back again with another video today, and this one is all about how to do a face to camera video. What are they good for? Well, these are the type of videos that let your learners kind of get to know your face. They add a personal touch when you're speaking with your students. So they're really great for your hook and your closure, particularly when you're delivering like a webinar or virtual class. I want to make sure that you are opening every single session with your face on the camera and closing every single session with your face on the camera. If you're doing an e-learning module or several e-learning modules like an e-learning course, then your hook and your closure videos should always be face to camera videos. So I just wanted to go over a few quick tips about why I think face to camera videos are just like the coolest thing ever and what you need to know about them. So, like I said, you can do them with the hooks and the closures. They're really great for illustrating a story. So you can use face to camera for telling a personal story. You can use it whenever you're doing some type of personal topic. You can use them whenever you are discussing things that involve like myths and misconceptions or mindset shifting. But I do want you to keep 3 key things in mind whenever you are doing face to camera videos. Are you ready? The first one is going to be the camera. Okay, so this can be anything from what I'm using right now. I'm just using a simple integrated webcam. In my other videos, you've probably seen me use something with a little bit better quality, which would be my DSLR or maybe even a camcorder. You could even use your mobile phone. Those have really great cameras on them as of now. Here's a few tips though. If you are going to use like a mobile phone or a tablet, I'm going to recommend that you always shoot in horizontal, okay? So you always want to shoot in landscape mode. That's always. And if you're using your mobile or your tablet to record your video, then you want to make sure that you are also using the front-facing camera. The rear-facing camera. You want to make sure that you're using the rear-facing camera for the tablets and the mobiles, because those tend to be better in terms of picture quality than those front-facing cameras that are on those devices. So tip number 1 is get you a camera and make sure that you're using it properly. Tip number two is all about the lighting. So what I want you to do is make sure that you are shooting in an area where there is plenty of light. And guess what? Lighting is free. We live in Abu Dhabi, and here I have mostly sunny days. So what I'm doing right now, I'm simply recording in my home office, and I have 2 big windows in front of me. So if you're going to be using the sun, which is a natural source of light, make sure that you have 2 windows and always put the windows facing you so they light up your face. If you have the windows in the back of you, then it causes your face to be a little shadowy, and that's not what we want. If you're in a situation where you cannot face the windows and you're counteracting some lighting issues, one thing that you might want to do is just get a lamp. Take a lamp and you can highlight the lamp, one of those bendable kind of study lamps. Go ahead and highlight that and make that highlight your face. I would recommend, if you're going to use a lamp, use one that uses an LED or a fluorescent bulb, because they give off better lighting than incandescent, which is your regular bulb. But you know what? Use whatever you can. So tip number 2, make sure you have decent lighting. And the final tip, whenever you're doing face to camera videos, is I want you to make sure that you have a clean and neat background. So right now, I have a really simple background. I'm in my office, and what you see behind me is simply the closet doors. Not a big deal. You could also film on a wall, like a white wall or any color wall that you have in your space. You could also make your actual living space the background. What do I mean by this? So in previous videos, you've probably seen like my sofa and my living room and the bookshelf and things like that. That's intentional, right? So you might want to film in the places where you work or you're living the most. Now again, make sure that it is free from clutter. So what you might want to do before you even hit record is you might want to take a step or take a beat and then look behind you, because surely whatever you see behind you is what your students are going to see behind you. And no matter how engaging and interesting you are being on this camera, if the background is cluttered or messy, it's just not going to work. So what I want you to do is keep those 3 tips in mind. Do you remember what they are? Tip number 1, get a camera. Doesn't matter what kind of camera, you can always work your way up from your webcam to your mobile or tablet to a DSLR. Use what you have. Tip number 2, remember what it was? Tip number 2 was all about the lighting. So the best source of lighting is going to be the sun. So make sure you are facing a window. And finally, tip number 3 is all about your background. Make sure that it is tidy and neat. But just in case you can't make it tidy or neat, you might want to hang up something like a sheet or a big piece of paper, or invest in one of those backdrops. Now, of course, that's not necessary, but do what you can. Carve out a small space for your own recording and knock out those face-to-camera videos. See you in the next one.